our PBIS Matrix. I'm sure all of your CT teachers have went through this matrix, and probably in some of your classes, you've created your own matrix for that classroom so that you guys are all ready to learn and have the same rules and procedures for those classrooms. So what I need you to do is I want you to know that our three main pillars here of our PBIS Matrix that lead are safe, respectful, and responsible. So all leaders are safe, respectful, and responsible. There's some big things under the safety that I want to hit real quick to make sure everybody understands. First off, adhere to all the district handbook policies. You sign that handbook at the start of the year. You sign a kind of a code of conduct, and that's saying that you are going to abide by all the policies and procedures and rules and expectations in that code of conduct. If you ever need to access our code of conduct, it is online, and you can look up what the code of conduct and what the consequences are if you ever misbehave, which I'm sure none of you will, but if you ever want to kind of know what the discipline procedures are and the consequences of a certain action, that is always found on our school district website. So just remember you've signed that code of conduct. And let's see here. Make sure that your facilitator is always aware of your location. Your teacher should know where you're going if you need to leave the classroom. And you always need to use our e-hall pass system. That is on our matrix a few times. That is super important that you always use that if you need to use the restroom, or maybe during CT if you need to travel somewhere. Super important that you're using our e-hall pass system. Let's see. When you're in the flex spaces, make sure you're using the furniture and that our lights are on. That is just part of learning. You need to be in a seat and you need to have your lights on, the lights on in that room. Under respectful, one of my favorites here is demonstrate active listening. Make sure that you're when you're in class, you're paying attention and you're listening to your teachers. And another one is use appropriate language and your voice level. So when you're at school, you need to be using professional language when you're talking to your peers and your teachers. Please don't use cuss words while we're here at LEAD. That's important. One thing I want you to know is that you need to follow our parking and our car riders and our bus procedures. We do have a tiered dismissal system here at LEAD. So we will be speaking about that to you and explaining that to you at a later time. But make sure that if you are an athlete, you leave when the athletes leave. When you are a driver, you can leave when we call the drivers. If you're a bus rider, you're actually going to be the first group out. So you need to leave at the appropriate time. That is very important. Responsible, be on time. School starts at 8:20 in the morning. You need to be here by 8:20 in the morning, or else you will get a tardy. And we do, unfortunately, have to do some discipline if you hit a certain number of tardies. So be on time, ready to learn. Let's see here. Maintain 90% attendance. The school wants you here. Actually, the state of Missouri wants you here at least 90% of the time. And if you fall under that, part of our jobs as administrators is to figure out why you're falling under that attendance threshold. So make sure that you try to keep that right at 90. Hopefully you're higher than 90. Super important to be here. Let's see. Utilize e-hall pass, again, down here under our responsible. And if you need to check out to go to the doctor or a dentist, make sure you check out through our front office. Another biggie for me is to check your email daily. We communicate to you through your email. And I would just make it a common practice to check my email at the start of CT every single day. And then the last thing I want to hit is follow our LEAD cell phone matrix. Ask your CT teacher, and then if they need to